Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about something a little bit different, something that doesn't have to do with, analyzing a particular stock or analyzing a group of stocks. Today we are going to be talking about the stock market, but not the stock market in itself, but actually what the stock market can do for you. So today I want to talk about what investing in the stock market over a long period of time can do for your wealth. Making small investments over time and how they add up and how important it is to start early. The earlier you start in the compounding growth cycle, the higher it is in the end, and we'll see this right now as I dive into it. But yeah, so if you're here for that and you want to watch that, I'd really appreciate it. I think this is going to be a good video, and you're going to be able to gain a lot of knowledge from it. So without further ado, if you enjoy this video, be sure to like it. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I analyze stocks, go over my portfolio, talk about what I think. I think it would be a good investment of your time to subscribe. But yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, let's get right into it. So you can see right now the portfolio is at $21,402.25. We're down 0.8% on the day. Not an amazing day, not a bad day. I'm not really worried about it. We had a really good day a few days ago. See right here, we went from 20,737 all the way to 21,700. We're still, only $3,000 below that after a $1,000 jump. So, or $300 below that after $1,000 jump. So I'm feeling good about it. But yeah, just to look at me, I'm 19, and this is what the stock market has done for me. This past year, I'm up about $6,000 all time. Around the same, 5,000. I dropped a little bit at the beginning. I started doing some options trading. I lost $700. I didn't always have 16,000 in here. I started with a few $100, a few tens of bucks, to be honest. But I started at 16,000. That's how much I've invested. Just from my investments, I've gained 5,000 all time, and in the past year, about 6,000. So it's been very nice to me. That hasn't come without a lot of fluctuations. Obviously, you can see I was up 3,500, and then I actually went down almost 2,000. That was a little worrisome, but you can't let your emotions get the best of you. If I acted on my emotions right here of being down and I sold everything while down $2,000, I wouldn't have had an $8,000 swing and been up almost 6,000 right now. So you have to take everything with you got to be willing to play this game if you're investing in the stock market. So it's definitely not for everyone. I can recognize that, but I think for a lot of people, if you can stay strong to yourself, stay true to yourself, then it's definitely a good investment of your time and investment literally. So first, what I wanted to check out is the average American salary after taxes, which is roughly $51,146. So I'm sure that you watching this are not going to have that exact salary, but I'm sure you're somewhere in that range. Maybe you're making $1,000,000 a year, or maybe you're making $0 a year. But this is just going off the average, and you can adjust this to whatever yours is. It's not that difficult. So let's say you start with $1,000. Maybe you have a little emergency fund or just a little bit of money on the side, and let's say that you started investing when you were 20. You were fortunate enough to find out about investing when you were 20 years old, and you want to retire at 65. So we'll put the horizon at 45 years. You're returning an average of 10% a year, which is about what the market returns a year on average, and your salary is paying you $4,262 a month. We'll take 10% of that. We'll round down into $420 a month. You're investing for the remainder of your working career. When you retire, you'll have almost $4 million. So you can see right here that it is a very interesting thing, compound interest. So you can see this first year, from year 1 to year 2, you only made about $1,000, but then you can see from year 44 to 45, off interest you made $33,000. So, or no, not I'm sorry, I messed that calculation up. But you can see off interest, it increased $600 right here, and you made $900 off interest. But now once you're in the 4 millions, you made $353,000 off interest, and it increased $30,000 from last year. So you can see that time is your friend when it comes to compound interest. If you want to retire, if you started when you were 10, I don't know how that would have happened, but just look at how much higher it is, because you're at 4 million right now. Add 10 more years, it doubles. So it more than doubles, and now you're making almost $1 million a year in interest. So yeah, that's the power of compound interest. Time is more your friend than it is money. So the earlier you start, even if it's just $10, is a lot more valuable than investing, thousands of dollars for 5 years. If you time is definitely way more important than dollar amount, dollar value when it comes to compound interest, and this is proven, with this example right here in this graph. And what I like to do is invest in singular stocks, which is riskier. I will recognize it is definitely riskier than investing in ETFs, but the the chance that they outperform is also higher. So I have 36% in the past year on my overall portfolio. And if we look at an ETF right here, let's just check out SPY. In the past year, SPY's done good, but it's around 10%. It's not anywhere near where my portfolio is, and that's not to say my portfolio dropped a lot more than SPY did. But right now, in this moment, it looks a lot better. So yeah, it is very interesting with compound interest, as you can see. And I mean, and also if you can beat the market, your returns will greatly increase. 80 million. If you increase your returns by 5%, I mean, maintaining a market beating return rate over 55 years is almost unheard of. The only person that has done it, uber successfully is Warren Buffett. And that's why he is the, renowned as the greatest investor of all time. But you can see right here, I mean, this is, a lot of money for 5% more. And then let's say you double your returns, I mean, that's when you get in. You wouldn't be watching this video if you can make 20% a year on the stock market for 55 years. You have a job anywhere you want at any firm. But then I wanted to check out right here what percentage of people actually invest in the stock market, and it says here 62% of adults in the United States own stocks. This figure has remained relatively stable in recent years. While a majority of Americans participate in the stock market, ownership is concentrated, with the wealthiest 10% holding 93% of all stocks. So, I mean, that goes to show that it definitely is harder to get into stocks if you don't have a lot of money, if you're kind of trying to, get by. If you don't have extra money, it is definitely hard to get started in the stock market. But I'd say, try to invest every little bit that you can. It all adds up eventually. I mean, even when I just had $20, I throw it in here and buy a partial share of Amazon. It was only a tenth of a share, but I did that 10 times, and then I got a whole other share of Amazon. So, I mean, it definitely adds up with these little investments over time. It is very worth it, I can say. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of power that the stock market holds, and if you're dedicated to it and you're nice to it, it'll reward you. It will give you returns that you never thought you could have achieved. And yeah, I mean, this calculator, you should play around with it a little bit. It's just calculator.net and then /investment calculator. So you can see, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. But I mean, there's just, I mean, if you make, a higher salary, I don't know what an average high American salary. Let's see, like, what a top earner. Okay. So a top earner in America, salary-wise, is $105,000 a year. If you invest 10% of every paycheck, that's, about double this. So we're if you were to do this, which is this is the base case. You start at 20, you retire when you're 65, you have $3.8 million. If you invested this $1,000 over the same time and you were earning, a higher salary and you invest in 10% each month, it doubles. It more than doubles. It, almost triples. So that just goes to show too that, the amount of time you're putting money in for, if it is more money, obviously it's going to return more. But the amount of time is what matters most when it comes to investing in the stock market, and doubling your money but keeping the same time frame will do very well. But I mean, see, if we drop this by 5 years, it's 5.6 million. If you didn't do it for if you just did 5 more years with half the amount of money, the number's not going to change that much. Look, that's half the amount of money for, you added 5 years and you cut the money in half. Let's see how much the number changes. It drops $1 million, which is, percentage wise, not that much. Compared to having double that money every single month for 40 years and then just adding 5 more years and cutting that amount of money in half. It's very interesting how time works so, well with compound interest. But even if you're, you're never too late also with compound interest. It still returns massively. If you're 40 and you're watching this and want to retire when you're 65, I mean, just look at that. You're still getting, with that $500 a month, you're getting $57,000 a year in interest when you're, when you do want to retire. That's a pretty decent salary. You could probably do pretty fine with that in retirement. But yeah, I mean, then even if you have kids and they just were born, take $100 every month and put that into a savings account for them, and boom, they're when they retire, they're gonna be pretty happy. They're gonna have a pretty good amount of money. I don't know how inflation is gonna affect that. It definitely will. But yeah, I think just as a number figure, that's very very good number to have with only investing $100 a month. And let's say you're a little bit wealthier and you can afford to put $500 a month towards them. It can explode very fast. There's compound interest is man's greatest invention, which Albert Einstein did say. That is a quote from him, that compound interest is man's greatest invention. It's also the most genius, most powerful. It is a very interesting concept and very smart. I think that yeah, you got to take full advantage of it. I mean, you're given the opportunity right now. If you didn't know about it, now you do. If you did know about it already, good, go use it. And yeah, I think that this is obviously a very good strategy, a very good way to gain wealth. And even if you're not a top earner, you don't have a crazy job where you're going to get wealthy overnight, and you don't strike it rich on a lottery ticket, then this is a way that you can get rich just as an average person, and that's what I'm trying to do as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to follow me on this journey. We just hit 130 subscribers. Thank you guys. 140, 150 next. So yeah, leave a comment down below what other kind of videos you guys want to see. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.